Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is presented by high-speed internet from AT&T. Another spectacular afternoon on the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in downtown Denver, Colorado, where the Colorado Rockies host your Texas Rangers in the final game of this quick two-game series. And hello again, everybody. Welcome to the booth. I'm Dave Raymond with Steve Busby, and we saw another thrilling finish last night with the Rangers coming back for 3 runs in the 9th inning and leaving with the 4-3 win over the Rockies. They seem to do it every night. One of the real highlights of late has been a guy who is clutch in those spots for the Rangers, and that is Elvis Andrus.
Oh, Dave, you're exactly right. Elvis having one of his best years, if not his best overall year for the Rangers. He has had some good ones, but this might be second to none. He's playing well defensively, but most importantly, he's getting timely hits. And the Rangers rely on different people throughout the year. Elvis has been very consistent. A timely hit last night with 2 runners aboard and 1 out in the 9th. His single tied the ball game up. The emotion was flowing, and Elvis would then come around on Mitch Moreland's double to score the winning run in that 9th inning. And Elvis overall a .370 average with runners in scoring position. That's 3rd in the American League. Lately, he's been even better than that. You go back to the middle of June, he's been a .478 hitter in those situations. And having one of his best years defensively, a .981 fielding percentage, 3rd in the American League. So whatever the Rangers have needed from Elvis Andrus, they've been able to count on him to give it that night.
No doubt about it, and since just a little before the trade deadline, hitting well over 400 overall. So Elvis Andrus and the Rangers get set for Game 2 of this quick series in Colorado. A.J. Griffin ready to take the hill this afternoon. The Rockies and the Rangers coming up in just a moment. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the Ford Freedom Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T High-Speed Internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, just about set for the final game of this quick two-game series, Rangers and Rockies. And we check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, Dave, it seems like longer ago, but it was just 1 week ago that the Rangers got the new players that they acquired at the trade deadline. Didn't even get all of them that day, but Carlos Beltran has been with this team a week. He's noticed a lot about these guys in the last week, and particularly in the last 2 days.
The confidence level that these guys have is, is off the chart, and for me to be part of a ball club that has so much energy and so much passion about the game of baseball, and no matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance, they feel like they're in the game. So to have that mentality really means a lot.
This is a guy who's been with 7 different major league teams, and he's noticed that in this clubhouse and in that dugout last night as they were mounting that comeback for that dramatic win in Game 1 of the series. Game 2 is on tap. We've got the starting lineups in the first pitch. It's the Rangers and the Rockies from Coors Field next on Fox Sports Southwest.
Rockies, final game of this quick two-game series, but also the last on an 8-game road trip for the Rangers. A road trip that has been surging here toward the end as we take a look at our Southwest.com starting lineups today. Ian Desmond leading it off for the Rangers in center field. Rougned Odor moves into the 2-hole at second base. Carlos Beltran back in the lineup in right field batting third, and the cleanup man, third baseman Adrian Beltre. Mitch Moreland with a game-winning hit last night. He's at first batting fifth. Elvis Andrus at short bats sixth. Nomar Mazara back in left field this afternoon. He'll bat seventh. Robinson Chirinos does the catching today, bats eighth. And then A.J. Griffin gets a shot to swing the bat. He'll pitch and bat ninth. So Jeff Bannister's Rangers ready to go this afternoon to wrap this thing up.
And that lineup for the Rangers going to face, by today's standards, a relatively short right-hander. Tyler Chatwood, 6 feet tall, about 185 pounds. A sinker, slider, curveball specialist, not overpowering with the fastball. Rangers will try to be patient because one of the problems that Chatwood has had, particularly coming back from Tommy John surgery, has been the walk. He has not been as consistent in the strike zone, and Rangers will try to allow him to be out of the strike zone if he so chooses. or even if he doesn't choose to.
Well, yeah, that's right. They don't even care what he chooses to do. So Chatwood is ready to go, and the right-hander's first pitch fouled off by Desmond. So Ian Desmond up there aggressively to start us off this afternoon. The .342 on-base percentage for Ian. He's done a great job getting on base, although he's lately been batting more toward the middle of the order and finds himself in a hole here, 0-2.
I think Jeff Bannister moving Desmond up to the top of that order today. See if they can't get him going. He's been kind of mired in an offensive downturn mechanically and everything else. And see if he can't have a little change of scenery in the lineup. See if that'll do the trick.
To your point, 4 for his last 35, an 8-game stretch for Desmond. But he'll watch a couple off the plate. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that's where you can't expand your strike zone with Tyler Chatwood. He'll allow you to chase that pitch if you're going to do it, and gets a lot of people out being out of the strike zone.
2-2 pitch, that one at the belt for strike 3. Desmond down looking, and that's how we start this afternoon. Take a look at the defense behind Chatwood today. They'll have David Dahl in left field, Charlie Blackmon in center, Narado Parra out in right. On the left side of the infield, Nolan Arenado and Christian Adames. It's DJ LeMahieu and Daniel Descalso on the right side, and then Tony Walters doing the catching for Chatwood today. Chatwood delivers very high to Odor, ball 1. Chatwood and Walters have been paired up with some regularity by the Rockies. They seem to work well together. Odor spanks one foul to count 1-1. Rougned with a career high 21 home runs this year, and that leads this team. Odor has established career highs in a number of offensive categories. Ooh, tight on the shoe tops. Runs him out of there, 2-1. Rougned though, 119 hits, 24 doubles. Both of those career highs. And he's quick on his feet.
Yeah. Well, you talk about pitching inside. That doesn't always mean up above the letters inside. That can mean down at the feet to get a hitter off balance a little bit. Change his balance perspective at home plate. That's sometimes, with some hitters, that's more effective than it is knocking him back upstairs.
With that, though, Chatwood has fallen behind here 3-1 on Odor. And as you were pointing out, that has been a problem for Chatwood. 53 walks and 116 innings coming into today. Odor taps one down to third, waiting on it Arenado, and he'll hustle it over to first for the second out of the inning. Now, Arenado was playing it a little tight, had plenty of time to make the little adjustment that time with 2 quick outs. We'll bring up Carlos Beltran. Good to see Carlos back in the lineup today. He's told us the last couple of days he's ready to go, feels fine. Well, Jeff Bannister wanted to play it conservatively, make sure that he's fully ready to go. Beltran ready today. 10th in the American League with that .305 average, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have this guy available for the last 49 ball games and maybe 20 or 25 into October.
That's definitely the idea. 1-1. Well, our TXU Energy power player to watch this afternoon. Yeah, no surprise, it is Carlos. Those interleague numbers this year. A couple of home runs, high average, but he hit this one onto the ground to Arenado, and it completes a relatively easy 1-2-3, top of the first for Tyler Chatwood. AJ Griffin ready to go, and he heads out to the mound when we come back. First inning, now the bottom of the first. As A.J. Griffin gets ready to go, we take a look at the Colorado Rockies lineup today. 2 games under 500. Walt Weiss today will start it off with his center fielder, Charlie Blackmon. DJ LeMahieu at second base will bat second, and then David Dahl in the lineup today in left field batting third. Nolan Arenado, their third baseman, is cleanup. Gerardo Parra back in the lineup at right field, batting fifth. Daniel Descalso at first base, Christian Adames at shortstop. Tony Walters, the rookie catcher, bats eighth, and then Tyler Chatwood will pitch and bat ninth as Griffin pumps one right in there for strike one to Blackmon.
Now, AJ making his 15th start overall, his 5th since the All-Star break. He is 5-1, a .229 opponent's batting average. So AJ, very credible job being the number 5 starter for the Rangers this year, and Rangers trying to get him over that hump to where he's comfortable from the 5th inning on, and that has been a problem since he came back off the disabled list. But that's more of a mental thing. AJ, the first to recognize that, hey, nothing really has changed in my 5th inning. I just have run into problems consistently there, and it's up to me to change it.
He is a quick worker. Griffin's 2-1. And this ball hit hard, deep right field. Back goes Beltran, and it is gone. Charlie Blackmon with a leadoff home run for the Rockies, and he has done that now 7 times this year. He represents a lot of danger in that top spot in the order, and you see right there why it is. 14 total home runs this year for Blackmon. Rockies lead 1-0.
Now, that was the bugaboo for A.J. Griffin against the Baltimore Orioles last time out, the solo home run. Gave up 3 in that ball game, and he gives up a home run to the leadoff man in this game against the Rockies.
So a quick strike for Colorado. Now DJ LeMahieu will take one high. LeMahieu, one of the few right-handed hitters in the lineup.
Pretty much in the wheelhouse for Charlie Blackmon. Down in the middle part of the plate, middle in. And Blackmon did not miss much of that.
Fouled off by LeMahieu, 1-1 the count. So the Rockies stacked their lineup today with a lot of left-handers, including Blackmon, in hopes to take advantage of the right-hander Griffin. 1-2 on LeMahieu, who's had a huge year. .326 average is 4th best in the National League. And he has done a lot of his damage here at home. A .377 average at Coors Field this year. Bloops this one into left, but Mazara able to come in a couple of steps to make the play. And there's one away. Take a look at the rest of the Rangers defense today behind Griffin, delivered to you by DeMontrond RV. It is Mazara in left with Ian Desmond center, Carlos Beltran in right in the outfield. On the infield, left side of the infield, Beltran Andrus, as is usually the case. Odor and Moreland on the right side per usual, and Robinson Chirinos gets the job behind the plate this afternoon with A.J. Griffin. Ball 1 to David Dahl. It's just his 15th big league game, and he is hit in each of his first 14 for the Rockies, including last night when he came up late in the game as a pinch hitter. Foul this one off. It's 1-2. Had his contract purchased on July 25th and has come up and dazzled Rockies fans. The second longest hitting streak to start a career by a Rocky as he hammers this ball out to right center field, and that will bang off that new fence out there. Angles poorly away from Desmond, however, and Dahl will get all the way to third. So a favorable bounce for Dahl off that new extended fencing out there in right field, and it helps him pick up an extra base.
It's not, as you can see, not a solid fence the way it is down below that open mesh. That ball kind of kicking off to Ian Desmond's left as he went to the wall. Karam did not come back straight. It kicked back towards center field, so that time Desmond able to corral it. Dahl into third base easily.
So some well-struck balls in this first inning for the Rockies. They lead 1-0. Nolan Arenado, very dangerous hitter. Takes one tight for a ball. We saw Arenado leave the yard yesterday, his 30th home run of the year. Also 89 RBIs, and he paces the National League in the power categories. Curveball, and it falls in there for a strike. Arenado turned 25 years old back in April of this year. Just in the beginning stages of a very promising career as he avoids that pitch from AJ. That moved his feet.
Effective in there. Now, to make that effective, the next pitch is what's important.
And this one is poked through into right.
Yeah, that's not a good way to back up a pitch up and in off the plate. You leave a breaking ball out over the plate about belt high, and actually A.J. Griffin lucky to get that ball back with a guy like Arenado at the plate. His hanger stayed right out away from him. He got good extension on it. If he gets elevation on that, that's going to leave the ballpark.
So Arenado is on with the RBI single. 2-0 Rockies. Giving Arenado now 90 RBIs for the year. And here is Gerardo Parra. Tough start this afternoon for Griffin. He pours one in for a strike.
Now AJ's got to find a way to put the clamps on it right here. Keep it at a 2-run inning. Give your ball club an opportunity to come back and swing the bats quickly.
Parra came in the game as a defensive replacement yesterday, and he takes a backdoor breaking ball for strike 2. Parra with the .263 average and 5 home runs this year. He's a very talented defensive outfielder, and he shoots this one down the left field line, fouling out of play. And he's always hit for a very good average. Just doesn't really produce the power that you would, I don't know, necessarily expect, but desire from a corner outfielder. Yesterday, the Rockies were very aggressive on the bases. Not much of a lead that time by Arenado. Griffin just misses with a breaking ball. Arenado has not been a real base-stealing threat in his career. He's not that fast, and he will talk openly about that. It's about the only weakness in his game is Parra swings and misses, and that strikeout is the second out of the inning.
AJ getting that cut fastball in on the fist of Parra. That was a well-executed fastball from AJ Griffin. That ball really running in under the hands of Gerardo Parra.
So 2 gone now, and Daniel Descalso will bat for the first time this afternoon. Descalso, another lefty, comes in at .317. He's been that super utility kind of player for the Rockies. Walt Weiss has used him all over the diamond. Today getting the start at first base. Field back deep. And it's 1-1 on Descalso. Rockies 55 wins, 57 losses. They're 9 back of the Giants in the National League West, but 4 back in the wild card. Did not lose any ground last night. That said, there are 4 teams ahead of them for the final wild card spot in the National League, so they still have plenty of wood to chop if they legitimately want to get into that conversation. Ball and 2 strikes on Descalso. 28-year-old right-hander A.J. Griffin readies and delivers. We're square 2-2. And Arenado taking off when he saw that ball get away briefly and easily out. As Torino's to Moreland to Andrus, erases him from the bases. Rockies pick up 2 in their half of the first, however, and have the early lead this afternoon. Off A.J. Griffin, and we go to the second. Adrian Beltre takes ball 1 from Tyler Chatwood. This is how the bottom of the first ended. Chirinos just a little dig out of the dirt, and for whatever reason, Arenado thought maybe there was a bigger opportunity there than truly existed.
No, he was anticipating the ball in the dirt, getting away from Chirinos, so he was going to take off for second base. Good anticipation, but ball didn't get away. Robbie picked that ball pretty cleanly, and Arenado in his assessment of his running skills was correct. He isn't fast. Matter of fact, it looked like he was running an awful long time in one spot. But you can see, if you're at first base, you see that ball in the dirt right there, then you don't see the ball, and you know it's not in the glove because it never hit the glove. And you wonder where in the world it went, and start off towards second base, and now it's an oops moment.
Perhaps a little break there for the Rangers to get out of the inning, and now see if they can get something going against Chatwood. Chatwood looked pretty good in his first inning. Got a couple of ground outs, a strikeout, but does have the heart of the order here.
You ain't ready for it, Beltre.
That's a full count. Chatwood's never had success against the Rangers. His previous 3 starts against Texas, so came as a member of the Angels back in 2011. He was roughed up in those 3 appearances. This one popped down the first baseline, drifting out into right field, and handled by Descalso. Well, for a moment there looked as if he might have lost it in the sun, so very happy that Descalso stayed with it. 1 away. Hey, today's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. Welcome and thank you all for your service. Great to have you with us this afternoon. It didn't look like it was a treat for Descalso either.
No, that side of the field is going to be tough here for the next couple of hours.
Now Moreland, Mitch takes his strike. 250 average, 18 home runs for Moreland this year. And a whole 0-2. He had the big double last night in the 9th inning. Scored Andrus all the way from first base. And that was the winning run in another heart-stopping finish for the Rangers. Won each of their last 2 games in their last at bat in the 11th inning on Sunday in Houston. And yesterday with that big comeback in the 9th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Moreland. That win last night, that's the 5th time that the Rangers have won a game when trailing going into the 9th inning, most in Major League Baseball. And 34 come from behind victories overall. Moreland stays alive 2-2. Lately, Moreland's been one of those guys right in the thick of all of it.
My wife needs a dude on a co-ed team. You game?
3 for his last 7, a couple of doubles the last 2 games. But 5 home runs in the last dozen games for Moreland. So we got that power stroke going again. He swings and misses here, the 2nd strikeout for Chatwood this afternoon.
But Chatwood works quickly, and when he gets in a roll, it can be very effective for him. He stays down in the strike zone. He can move the ball to both sides of the plate. And if you're a hitter against Chatwood, you probably would be better served by trying to disrupt his rhythm a bit, stepping out, that kind of thing, to get him out of that roll he gets on.
He's retired the first 5 this afternoon, and he gets Andrews to chase a breaking ball away. Elvis has been locked in lately. 1-1 the count to Andrews. Hitting over 320 in his last 45 games. Average has jumped to just shy of 300 again as he comes up empty here. The count 1-2. Andrews batting 6th in the order this afternoon. Shin-Soo Choo getting the day off. Beltran back in the lineup in right field, and a fastball in there for strike 3 called. Andrews down looking, and that's 3 strikeouts for Chatwood in the first 2 frames. We played an inning and a half, 2-0 Rockies. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the Ford Freedom Sales event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. So to the bottom of the 2nd inning this afternoon in Colorado. 2-0 Rockies. As A.J. Griffin goes back to work. It'll be Daniel Descalso, Christian Adames, and Tony Walters in this 2nd inning. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Rockies. A little foul tap makes it 1-1.
Really important, Dave, in this inning that A.J. Griffin, look at it like the need of a shutdown inning is there. Just like your team has scored and you want to shut down the opposition. You've given up 2 early runs and you put your club in a hole, but now you've got an opportunity to keep it right there. Give them all the opportunities they need to get back in the game and take the lead.
1-1 pitch is wrapped down to first and handled cleanly by Moreland, who takes it himself one away. Hey, tomorrow night is the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night. Rangers returning to take on these Rockies back at Globe Life Park. Head out to the ballpark early, enjoy all the hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Get your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. It'll be great to be back home with the Rangers with 30 of their remaining 48 games at home. As Griffin runs one tight to Christian Adames for ball one. Adames not as threatening a hitter as many in this Rockies lineup. That said, he came up with a big hit yesterday in the 3rd inning and ultimately came around to score the game's first run. So despite that average a little below the Mendoza line, you have to respect his ability up there as a 1-1. There's 2 balls and a strike. Oh, Buzz, we learned some very disappointing news today. Many out there reporting Evan Grant, Ken Rosenthal, Jeff Wilson, and others. This ball taps slowly towards second base. Odor gonna have to hustle it, but he gets it there in time to get Adames 2 away. Prince Fielder reportedly done with baseball. His latest neck injury is going to force him to give up baseball. Had neck surgery, his 2nd in 27 months. This one required a cervical fusion to repair a herniated disc in his back. And doctors declaring it's just too much risk for him involved to continue to play anymore. And so reports out that Prince Fielder will retire.
Yeah, we want to stress now the club is not confirming any of this, but you know, I just hope that whatever the case is, I hope that Prince is going to be okay. That's my primary concern, and it goes far beyond baseball. Prince is a great guy, and he's a family man, and I hope that he is able to do whatever needs to be done to protect his health and you know, his importance to his family.
Yeah, well said. 1-1 pitch, and Walters comes up empty on strike 2. So no official report from the ball club yet on that, but certainly a number of what appear to be substantiated reports that Prince Fielder will announce his retirement at some point this week as Walters chases strike 3. Chirinos digs it out of the dirt, throws down to first, and that completes a 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Griffin, so he gets that shutdown inning Buzz was looking for. We go to the 3rd. Life Park, and You can catch the next post-game fireworks show this Friday, presented by Big Green Egg. Tigers and Rangers, a 7:05 game. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Hope to have you out there for that one. Rangers coming back for a big homestand and hoping to do so with a win this afternoon in Colorado. So far, Tyler Chatwood has had his say about that, retiring the first 6 Rangers he has faced, and he deals ball 1 to Nomar Mazara. Right-hander has worked with very good pace. It was 2-0. Mazara, a guy who went through a little stretch recently, had to make some adjustments, and he apparently has done so. He has really gotten back on track last 16 games. Nomar hitting over 300, a 304 clip. And appears to have himself back on track again, which is huge. Takes a strike, it's 3-1 from Chatwood. Strong left-handed hitter. What a delight he has been this year. His pop-up out into a tough spot, short left field, dropping quickly and falls in for a base hit. Skips by Dahl, and Mazara has a double. There is one of the real dangers of this ballpark.
Yep.
Off the bat, most ballparks, you're not thinking double on that.
Well, with the outfielders playing so deep and generally shading toward the power side in the alley, Mazara blooping one in that landed about 10 or 15 feet fair, but there's no way that Dahl can run the 50 yards that it was required unless that ball's 150 feet high instead of 75 feet high. That's just too much ground to cover. You heard Steve Buechele talking about that yesterday. Balls in the gap get to the wall much more easily. Balls fall in front of outfielders and where they just can't get them. That's the disadvantage of playing the outfield here.
So a leadoff double, first base runner of the afternoon for the Rangers. Chirinos with the start today, hitting 189 with 8 home runs. All 8 of those home runs have come on the road. 1 strike pitch, and it is 1-1.
Well, even though you have the pitcher hitting next, Robinson Chirinos still has the idea in mind that you need to get that runner from second to third. Well, he's over there with 1 out, or maybe you score him if you get a ground ball that sneaks its way through the right side.
Shoots this one out to right field. Parra coming on, goes into a slide to make the catch. But Mazara, he got about halfway to third, so unable to tag up and advance.
Yeah, Nomar's got to get back and tag up on that. If you don't think it's going to be there, if the ball falls in, you're going to be able to get to third anyway. He's not going to come up with it. As soon as he goes into his eye, you need to be in a position where you can tag up and advance on that ball. Nice play, though, by Parra coming on. You really didn't need to go into a dive. You just reach down, pick it up, but good play nonetheless.
So now A.J. Griffin. A.J. 0 for 4 in his career as a hitter, with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Not a ton of opportunity to get up there and swing it. Shoots this one foul, but in a hole now, 0-2. Those interleague games, kind of fun for guys that get a chance to take some swings. Most guys relish that opportunity. A handful who would just as soon not have to pick up the bat, I'm sure. 2-strike pitch, and AJ stays alive. I don't know, Buzz, in the years of asking players, though, if I've ever heard a pitcher admit that, no, I really don't have any interest in.
I don't think guys look at it like being fun. I think batting practice is fun. Getting in the game and trying to win a ball game, I don't know how much fun that is. Playing the game's fun, but
you don't think they relish the opportunity?
Well, relish it and having fun. It's not just fun. It's a job. It's a business.
Okay.
And your business is to win ball games. That's where the fun stops.
All right. Well, he goes to work here. 1-2 the count.
Go out and have home run contests and batting practice. That's fun.
Griffin waiting on a 1-2. Good eye there. 2-2 the count. Of course, all these guys would have hit plenty in their youth, and though they don't look quite as adept as regular major league hitters, when they were youngsters, they were the best in their town, best in their leagues, by and large. Griffin has worked the count full after falling behind 0-2. Chatwood gets a low strike call. Boy, Griffin looked like he might have worked himself a walk, but a borderline call granted by Estabrook sends Griffin back to the dugout.
Not many pitchers as hitters are going to get this call for them. That's one of those ones where, okay, you give it to the guy out on the mound and assume that the same thing's going to happen when he's hitting. Pretty close to automatic if it's anywhere near.
Here's Desmond. And he bounces one slowly to short. Adames right on top of it, slings it over to first, and that will end the inning. Leadoff double by Nomar Mazara is wasted in the third. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Rockies.
In favor of the Rockies as we welcome you back to Coors Field here in Denver, Colorado, where there are lots and lots of Rangers fans, those hanging out behind me all over the stadium. I got to spend the morning with a whole bunch of Rangers fans. This is one of those destination trips, and every one of the guys and gals on the destination trip gets a meet and greet with a player. This time it was Jurickson Profar, who figured so prominently last night in that big double steal. They get autographs, they get a question and answer session, and they also get an opportunity to have a posed picture with the player in question, which again was Jurickson Profar. About 121 of them on the destination trip. It's the biggest one of the year, and all of them were feeling very good about the noise they made last night. They were asking, could you guys hear us on the field with the Let's Go Rangers chant? I said, we could all hear you. Even in the dugout they heard you. The fans rightly proud of their figuring prominently in that game last night, guys.
Yeah, no doubt, John. Very good point. I bumped into a few fans last night in the hotel bar, asked that same question, and it sounded at times almost like a home game in that ninth inning. A.J. Griffin back to work here in the third inning.
A lot of guys were talking about that after the game last night. They heard everybody. It's great to go on the road and have something like that happen. Had the same kind of thing down in Houston.
Chatwood, a 158 hitter, and sends this one high in the air out into right field. Beltran came in, and that one carried pretty darn well, just shy of the warning track. Wow. Good poke, but one out, and now the top of the order. But first we check in with Rick Renner back at the studios on a Chevy game break. Yeah, amazing performance last night, Rick. Thanks. We could go a good week. Some good hitters.
Yeah.
We go a week, maybe several weeks without getting 7 hits. Here's Blackman. He homered back of the first inning. That got the scoring started this afternoon. Blackman's 14th of the year. Griffin misses high, 2-0. Both Rockies' runs came in the first. But AJ has settled in, retired the last 5 hitters. Was very efficient in the second inning. Needed just 11 pitches to go 1-2-3. This ball hammered down the right field line and toward the corner by Blackman. He'll race to second base and stop there with the 1-out double. Well, Blackman swinging it well today, obviously seeing Griffin pretty well.
Yeah, AJ just has not been able to make a pitch on it. That is center square, and he's lucky to get that one back too. Because the first ball, the home run that he hit into the bullpen, Blackman got a pitch in the same spot, got some elevation. This one he put a little top spin on, so it stayed in the ballpark. But a well-struck double.
That's a 4th hit this afternoon for the Rockies. And Griffin will have to get back into the stretch position again. As numbers 2, 3, and 4 still do. LeMahieu 0 for 1. He flied out to left field back of the first inning. And Griffin jumps ahead of him. The splits for AJ Griffin are dramatically in favor of left-handed hitters. Walt Weiss doesn't take a genius to look at the numbers and see that it might be a good idea to put a lot of lefties in there, as he has done today. And a hard bouncer. This one to the right side of the infield. Odor right on top of it. And LeMahieu retired for out number 2. So LeMahieu, one of the few right-handed hitters, retired both times he's come to the plate. Blackman able to get up to third base, but 2 away now as David Dahl steps in. Lefties slugging almost 300 points higher from the left side than they are the right against AJ Griffin. Dahl had the triple back of the first inning. Dahl now with a 15-game hitting streak to begin his career. Mentioned earlier that was the second highest or longest hitting streak to start a Rockies career. The longest ever was Juan Pierre when he came up in 2000. He went 16 consecutive games with at least 1 hit. So Dahl ostensibly tomorrow, next day, whenever he's back in the lineup again, will have an opportunity to tie that franchise record. Chirinos with a little instruction out there on the mound for AJ Griffin. Now back behind the plate. 2-0. Dahl came in with the average at 382. He does have some power. We saw that. We'll sample that anyway on the triple. 3-0 the count. The right-handed hitting Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. Very dangerous hitter. Dahl, just 21 years old, takes a strike. 3-1 the count. He missed a lot of time last year in the minor leagues. Dahl suffered a lacerated spleen in a violent outfield collision in a Double-A New Britain, and ended up missing quite a bit of time. Takes a strike here, and it's a full count. At mid-year this year, one of those mid-year reports by Baseball America came out, and they had Dahl as the number 16 prospect in all of baseball. He has since come up and done very well. He takes ball 4, and he is aboard with 2 out here in the 3rd. The Rockies have cornered A.J. Griffin in this third inning. And here's Arenado.
Yeah, Doug Rocaille got to go out and make sure that A.J. Griffin, number one, is okay, that mentally and physically is okay, and then try to develop the game plan they want in this at bat with Arenado. You go over the hitters beforehand, and you have a general idea from at bat to at bat what you want to do. But this is a specialized situation where you can, if you choose to, be very, very careful with it, like they were with Dahl. I don't know that that was necessarily on purpose that they lost Dahl, but you still want to be careful. This is their run producer. This is the guy at the plate now in Arenado that gets paid to drive in runs, and you want to be careful and not let this get any further along than a 2-0 lead.
Well, he is the best there is in the National League and one of the best in all of baseball. And he lays off ball one. You're never thrilled to put guys on for free. And that's not the idea. 1-1 the count as you tied him up with that slow breaking ball there at 66 miles per hour. Wow.
He was pretty much on that. The change of speed got him more than the break on it did.
There's a breaking ball. This one lined into left, base hit. Blackman will come home. The throw back to second, and Dahl back in there. But Arenado with his second RBI single of the day makes it 3-0 Rockies.
If you're going back-to-back with a slow curveball, the second one has to be in a better location than the first one. And that was not the case to those back-to-back hooks to Arenado. Second one stayed right in the heart of the plate. And Arenado, after having seen one just the pitch before, didn't have any problem with it.
So another run across for the Rockies. Still two men out there. And Gerardo Parra, who struck out in the first inning, will step in. Another big spot in this ball game for A.J. Griffin. Going to put an end to the damage. A roller up the middle, gets through, base hit. Dahl heads home, he scores. Arenado all the way to third. 4-0 Rockies.
Another one of those ground balls we've seen in this series that just won't slow down. And doesn't have any effect hitting the ground a couple of times. That ball scooting its way right up the middle. You would expect that thing to hit the grass twice and have a little less on it, but it just kept on going. By Odor never had a chance to get it.
It's never made sense to me. They cut the grass tighter here than I cut my hair, which is saying something. I mean, it is almost non-existent on the infield. Where in this ballpark, you might do well just to let that grow a little bit. Try and slow down some of those ground balls.
Yeah, the hard part's keeping water on, keeping it moist. There's so little humidity that any water you put down just evaporates.
Scalzo in now, and he takes one high for a ball. Scalzo grounded out of the second inning. 0 for 1 today. Boy, top 5 spots in the order have created a lot of trouble for A.J. Griffin this afternoon. It's 1-1. The top 5 spots are 6 for 10, pardon me, 6 for 9 with a walk. And they've scored 4 runs. Arenado at third and Parra at first for the Rockies. Griffin is to Scalzo to pop this one foul out of play. I missed the play in the stands, but apparently so did the fan.
Yeah. Fan in the front row of the second deck brought a glove with him. The ball was right to him, and he booted it. Doesn't even have the sun to blame. He's in shade.
Scalzo waiting patiently, and now Chirinos will head out to talk to Griffin. Now, lost in some of the hubbub last night, with the Rangers coming back 3 runs in the 9th inning to steal one from the Rockies. It's the fact that the Rockies really have been playing great baseball. And on the one hand, from our perspective, hey, it was just another thrilling finish for the Rangers, another great win on the road. But for the Rockies, it's been a rare loss. They had won 15 of their last 22 games to climb back in the wild card conversation in the National League. But today they've come back out and looked a little bit more like the team that has been on that pretty good run. 2-2 to Descalso at the 25th pitch of this inning for A.J. Griffin. Misses to make it a full count. And that is already another elevated pitch count for this stage of the game, just 2 2/3 innings in. 61 total for Griffin. This one popped foul. Maybe another chance for the fan. Up in the seats. The count stays full on Descalso. Descalso now 29 years old, from Redwood City, California, up in the Bay Area. Fouls this right over the screen behind home plate and up into the stands. Most fans think of Descalso as a Cardinal. 3rd round pick in 2007. Came up a couple years later in his big league debut in 2010. And was an everyday man for them up until last year. He signed with the Rockies as a free agent right around the time of the winter meetings. 3-2. He's doing some work up there. That they've been using him as a utility man here this year. He has played first, second, third, short, left field. He's DH'd. Valuable guy for Walt Weiss. 3-2 pitch. And that is high. What a great at bat by Descalso to draw the walk and now load the bases. And if A.J. Griffin was in hot water earlier, it's starting to boil just a little bit here in the 3rd. And Benny pacing at this point. They've been talking about A.J. Griffin going deeper into games, and he's going to have to get it out in a hurry here if he's going to go even 5 this afternoon. This is outside to Adames.
Yeah, this hasn't been a very typical A.J. Griffin outing. The problems that A.J. has run into have been pretty well confined to the 5th inning, 6th inning of ball games. This one he just has gotten off to a rocky start and not been able to settle things down at all.
1-1 on Adames.
A lot of pitches for him up today, and I get a feeling that mechanically he's not feeling as comfortable as he did the last several times out.
Takes a breath, and the 1-1. There's a curve in there for a strike. Griffin spent nearly 7 weeks on the disabled list earlier this year. Hurt himself in early May. And did not return to the club until late June. It's 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Adames went out after it and he just looked baffled. That strikeout ends the inning. Rockies leave them loaded, but do pick up 2 more, lead 4-0 after 3. Now let's go to Aaron Hardigan in our Rooms to Go lounge. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by the all-new 3-row Mazda CX-9, meticulously crafted for driving because driving matters. Underway in the fourth, Rougned Odor, Carlos Beltran, and then Adrian Beltre in this fourth inning. Rockies, though, with the 4-0 lead. Tyler Chatwood coming after Odor, makes it 1-1. Rangers with 1 hit so far in the first 3 innings against Chatwood. And Odor takes a healthy swing here, but pops it up back up second base. Adames, the shortstop, finally able to nestle underneath it and make the catch. Well, you just see on the faces of many of these players today, when they finally do make the catch on those pop-ups, they're thrilled to death that it's over.
Yeah, and a guy was very well aware of that was Rougned Odor. He hit that pop-up. He didn't hesitate. He was running hard all the way. He was out at second base when that ball was finally caught. But he knows, being on the right side of the infield, that that's not an automatic out when it goes up in the air like that.
Here's Beltran. He is 0 for 1 today. Grounded out in the 3rd inning. 10th in the American League, however, with a .305 average, 23 home runs, and has been great since joining the Rangers. 7 for 21 as a Ranger coming into today with a home run and 3 RBIs. Chases one upstairs. It's 0-2. Chatwood has been pretty tidy here this afternoon. 10 wins, 7 losses for the season. And run strike 3 on the inside corner for Beltran, 2 away. 5th strikeout of the day for Chatwood. So the fans have voted. First 15,000 fans, 14 and older, to the game this Saturday will receive a Snapple Brookshire's Fan Vote Rangers t-shirt, selected by you, the fans. Don't miss his special giveaway as the Rangers take on the Detroit Tigers. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So with 2 outs, here's Beltre. Beltre was retired in the 2nd inning on a pop-up to first. .276 average, but he is seemingly getting more and more comfortable his last couple of days. 4 for his last 7. Trying to pull out of a little mini slide. 1-1 the count. That would right after him, but misses low. It's 2-1. Yesterday, the Rockies scored 2 runs by the time we were through 4 innings and had the early lead, but it would not hold up. Beltre smashes this one through the left side of the infield, a base hit. Well, Adrian aboard.
That's the first ball that's been hit reasonably hard by a Ranger hitter against Tyler Chatwood today. Fastball up and maybe off the plate a little bit inside, but Adrian Beltre, no problem getting the barrel of the bat to that ball.
Well, Chatwood has to go from the stretch. Moreland struck out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. We were talking last inning about all the Rangers fans that made this trip and have made so many trips this year. Well, Russ Pippen, an Air Force veteran, here today with his dad Warren, wanted to say hello to his niece and nephew Cameron and Cole Caballero back home in Arlington. We have Russ and Warren here today. 1 strike pitch and a little bouncer to Descalso, and that completes the 4th inning. No runs, the Rangers hitting a man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th today in Colorado. Rockies leading 4-0. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Zach Greinke, after about a month on the disabled list with that strained oblique, he'll come off the DL to face the Mets tonight. You can see he was pitching quite well prior to the injury. Chris Sale going for win number 15 tonight for the White Sox there in Kansas City. Sale, though, has not been very good lately, or at least the wins haven't come for him in his last 4 starts. Guy who was probably the most rumored name out there around the trade deadline, but ended up staying with his club. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, 4-0 Rockies. 8 and 9 hitters do this inning, so catcher Tony Wolters and the pitcher Chatwood, and then back to the top of the batting order for the Rockies. A.J. Griffin again needs an efficient shutdown inning. He's had 2 tough ones today. Little tapper should be playable for Griffin. Indeed, he gets Wolters. Well, there is one away.
Well, AJ bouncing off. That ball's in a tough spot. It's halfway between home and the mound, and you know when you get to it, you're going to have to make a hard throw. And AJ did a good job of shifting his feet. Throw wasn't the most accurate, but he got it there quickly enough to give Mitch an opportunity to make the catch before the runner got there.
So 1 out, and now Chatwood. Chatwood might have had the most surprising swing of the day. He hit a ball in the 3rd inning, looked like a routine fly ball right field, and Beltran came in a step or 2. There's not one left to bat. Ended up having to turn around and head out to the warning track to make a over-the-shoulder basket-style catch.
Yeah, 234 lifetime hitter. That's not too bad for a guy that doesn't get much of an opportunity to work on his craft.
Goes down quietly this time of the 4th.
Big slow breaking ball, and Tyler Chatwood's going to lodge a protest with the pitchers union about that. Sliders are okay, but that slow curveball, nah, that's no good. You can't be doing that to another pitcher.
Griffin picks up his 4th strikeout, and now the guy who's been really as tough on him as anybody in the order today. Blackmon with a home run in the 1st, the double in the 3rd. Griffin starts him off inside with ball 1. Good fastball for a strike. Blackmon brings a .307 average into the game, and his on-base percentage was .370. We talked about it yesterday, but brings good power to that leadoff spot as well. Falls in a hole here, 1-2 after a good breaking ball by Griffin. Lanky left-handed hitter. Blackmon has creates good leverage with those long limbs. And that home run that he hit in the 1st inning, that leadoff home run, his 7th leadoff homer this year, but 19th in his career. So one of those real good weapons for Walt Weiss. Griffin a strike away from completing a second 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. Runs it a little tight, and it's a full count. Here's our high-speed replay brought to you by AT&T, and that was Blackmon in the 1st. Not much question when it left the bat where it would ultimately land. Griffin gets him to cue this one foul. AJ surrendered a couple of runs in the 1st, a couple in the 3rd, but did leave the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, so got out of a pretty big jam. And this ballpark, hardly a lead is ever safe. 3-2 pitch, and this is popped up near 3rd, heading foul. Beltre with room makes the catch, and the inning is over. So another 1-2-3 for A.J. Griffin sends us to the 5th inning this afternoon with the Rockies leading 4-0.
Welcome you back to Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. On this trip, I have been able to discover some great food places. I went to a place called the Denver Biscuit Company for a little lunch yesterday, and the outside says it all. Biscuits, pizza, and beer every day as the Elvis takes one inside. So biscuits, pizza, and beer, we got to try it all, right? So there's the pizza. That was almost like our appetizer of biscuits, pizza, and beer. And then I wasn't sure how big the biscuit sandwich was, right? They make sandwiches with these beautiful Southern-style biscuits. This is a club sandwich with chicken and turkey and bacon and cheese and lettuce and chipotle mayonnaise and tomato. It's a delicious sandwich. And so we ate the pizza and we ate the biscuit, and the owner was so impressed that we ate both of those things, he gave us a cinnamon roll. Now, how counterintuitive is that? Like, you guys have eaten so much, I'm going to give you a cinnamon roll. So we ate that too. Me and Jeff Irwin, we split it and ate the cinnamon roll. So Denver Biscuit Company, I guarantee you there's going to be so many Ranger fans there tomorrow, because at the thing this morning I told everybody about it, and they're all headed there for breakfast, guys.
Do you and Jeff split those evenly? There's a bouncing ball down the third baseline. Base hit for Elvis Andrus. He'll go to second with a leadoff double in the fifth. There we go, third hit of the afternoon for the Rangers.
A good job by Elvis getting the hitter's count. And he's able to turn on a pitch that was inside from Chatwood. Got it by Arenado down that line, and it would not slow down until he got to the fence. Pretty typical. Hard ground.
It's like playing on a parking lot at times at this ballpark. Just another way that this park plays favorably for hitters. I mean, there's no mistaking this ballpark is a very hitter-friendly ballpark, always has been. Andrus hit second. Mazara had a double in the third inning. And Chatwood comes at him with some heat and misses high, ball one. In fact, you know, when the Rockies, when they brought baseball, Major League Baseball here, back in the early 90s, 1993, they played at Mile High Stadium for a couple of years before Coors Field was ready. 1-0. That one off the handle, foul and out of play. Bart Giamatti was the president of the National League at the time, and he was worried, as a lot of people were, about baseball at altitude, as we like to say here. Yeah, he went out and he got an expert experimental particles physics professor from Yale, Robert Adair, to study what could be the effect of baseball at altitude here. And the professor said that, well, he thought home runs might fly about 40 feet further here. Well, I got everybody up in arms. They built it as big as they could. But then the home runs, the numbers continue to come in. I mean, this franchise has a career earned run average over 5. That one line foul by Mazara. Count 2-2. So in 2002, they bring in the humidor, thinking the ball's maybe a little too dry, a little too light. Maybe if they can add a little moisture, that would cut down on some of the offensive numbers. It helped. Increase the fences now out in right field and down in the left field corner. Try and cut down on some home runs that just get over the wall in those spots. Now it's a full count on Mazara. I mean, see, 350 down the line, that's a healthy poke. Except that you're playing on the surface of the moon.
What I remember about the studies they did, there's about a 7% carry factor on balls in the air. And there was an effect going out to right center where the ball just carried there for some reason. Wind currents, whatever you want to call it. It carried much better to right center, so they raised the fence out there to cut down some of the cheap home runs, because they were getting line drives, just kept going over that 375 mark right there on the right side of your screen.
Yeah, they raised that thing 9 feet this year. It's now 16.5 feet tall, even with the out-of-town scoreboard down toward that right field corner. And it has helped. At least again, you know, as they have seen balls hit off that fence. We saw one today. Mazara takes strike 3 called. So Nomar down looking, not sure about that one as he checks in with Estabrook about it.
Well, that's a 6th strikeout for Tyler Chatwood. Not necessarily where he was trying to paint the corner. It was supposed to be on the other side, but he'll take that one as Mike Estabrook gave him the benefit of the doubt. And our box tracker showing you that, yeah, it nudged the outside corner.
One gone for Robinson Chirinos now, who flied out to right field in the third. Chirinos asking for time there. Talking earlier about trying to disrupt the timing a little bit. As this one in the dirt bounces away, and heading to third is Andrus on the wild pitch. So Chatwood has one get away from him. Walters couldn't keep it close enough, and now a potential first run for the Rangers this afternoon, just 90 feet away.
Almost every Ranger base runner very, very adept at anticipating the ball in the dirt, and that first step very positive toward the next base.
One now on Chirinos. Chirinos on his fly ball to right field back at the third inning. Parra came in and made kind of a headlong dive to make the catch. Similar type play here would score a run. Take a look at our Kubota power stats. And Chatwood, you see the ground ball fly ball ratio. He's very good at getting ground balls, and those can turn into double plays as well. 2-2 the count. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It makes sense. Get ground ball pitchers to pitch here, but loosen up the purse strings a little bit, water that grass, and get it a little bit higher.
I don't know that you can get the grass and the dirt wet enough to make a difference without making it a marsh.
I don't know. I grew up in this part of the country. That grass would grow in the summer. This one hit high in the air center field. Blackman range back and now races in to make the catch. Andrus with the tag. Here comes the throw, and it's just a little bit late. So Andrus scores on the Chirinos sac fly. Rangers on the board and chipping away at that Rockies lead.
Good job by Robinson getting a pitch that he could drive to the outfield, and he did it effectively. Elvis able to beat the throw by Blackman.
Well, Blackman did a great job of getting in a real good position for that, but it goes back to something we were talking about last night, which is you don't see many close plays at the plate in this ballpark. That's a type of opportunity that might give you a close play. Shin-Soo Choo was on deck but called back, and Griffin will go ahead and bat for a second time. Tried to hold up but could not. Griffin struck out looking in the third. It's 1-2. AJ looking for his first big league hit. You're not going to get it in this at bat. Goes down looking again, inning over, but the Rangers get one back. We're halfway to the house this afternoon. It's a 4-1 Rockies lead. The arrival of the newest Ranger, Carlos Beltran, with a discount ticket offer. You get $36 corner box seats for select games through August, courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest. Log on to TexasRangers.com/specials and use the coupon code FSSWCarlos. See game availability and get your tickets today. And there he is. One of the great additions at the trade deadline, not just to the Rangers, but to anybody in Major League Baseball. And Beltran will be heading to Globe Life Park tomorrow. Great to be back home for the first of two against these Colorado Rockies. Rockies, by the way, sending their 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this 5th inning. Working with a 4-1 lead against A.J. Griffin. A.J. has struggled in the odd-numbered innings so far today. Though this guy, LeMahieu, he is retired both times. He jumps ahead 0-2. Griffin deliberate with the curveball. Popped up near third. Beltran waiting on it. And there's one away. Gives us a moment to check it again with Rick Renner on a Chevy game break. Yeah, I guarantee you, I will not be trying out for any ball clubs as Dahl chases strike one. So let me ask you, Buzz, when you heard Tim Tebow going to make a run, 29 years old, playing professional baseball, your initial thought?
Good luck. I don't know how many people are going to show up for his tryout, but good luck. See, part of the American dream, right? Try anything you want to.
Absolutely. 1-1 on David Dahl, who walked his last time in. And also tripled back at the first. He has scored 2 of the Rockies' 4 runs. All right. Last night was a big night. I mean, you had the Tebow news. Curt Schilling. Yeah. Curt Schilling wants to run for president. Your thoughts on that?
Doesn't everybody? That's what it seems like.
That's it. You talk about a thankless gig.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want any part of that. Griffin's 2-2. And there's a swing and a miss. He gets Dahl. And there are 2 gone in the 5th inning. So A.J. Griffin, a couple of real good outs here to start the 5th inning.
That's what he tried to do with Dahl last time up. He couldn't get Dahl to expand the strike zone. He had gotten behind 2-0, and Dahl then, once he got to 1 strike, wouldn't go up the ladder at all. Not this time.
Well, for the first time this afternoon, Arenado comes to the plate with nobody on base. Now he's 2 for 2. His previous trips delivered RBI singles, which gives him now a National League leading 91 for the year. Arenado, the most powerful offensive threat in the National League, leads in all the major power categories. And when Trevor Story was healthy and in this lineup as well, man, that's just a devastating 1-2 punch. And Carlos Gonzalez in there as well, who, by the way, is not in the lineup today. Had to come out early yesterday with more inflammation in his sprained ankle that had him out earlier in the week. You see, they've got some pieces here in Colorado. Certainly make up a great lineup. Breaking ball from Griffin is high, and it's 3-1 to Arenado. Rockies got 2 in the first, 2 in the third today for their 4 runs on 6 hits. Griffin's 3-1. Arenado wouldn't take the bait. A 2-out walk. And Griffin instead will work to Gerardo Parra. Parra, one of 5 left-handed hitters in the order, along with a switch hitter, Christian Adames. And Parra, last time up, he delivered an RBI single. Backdoor curveball in there for a strike. Parra last year split time with Milwaukee and Baltimore. Didn't fare that well with the Orioles. And he's in a hole here, 0-2. He had 100 games with Milwaukee, was hitting .328, and a couple of years with Milwaukee and a handful more with Arizona. Had amassed a nearly .280 career average in the big leagues. Now back into the National League again after the brief experiment in Baltimore, and putting up typical Parra type numbers. 2-strike pitch, and he'll chase this one and bloop it over short, a base hit. Tracked down by Mazara. Arenado will head to third. Parra with the 2-out single. And all of a sudden the Rockies have a little something brewing in this 5th inning.
Now AJ with that slow breaking ball, and it left it up, and Parra, not the kind of hitter that's going to pull off that. He just took exactly what AJ gave him and looped it into left center for the base hit.
So meeting on the mound, Jeff Bannister out there. He takes the baseball from Griffin, who's none too pleased about it. No doubt wanted to get that one more out and at least get through 5 today, but it's not to be. So Rangers go to the bullpen. We'll take a quick break. Rockies leading 4-1. Sports Southwest wants you to show your Maverick pride at a Rangers game. You get discounted tickets for the Friday, August 26th game against the Indians. And the first 1,000 fans with a UTA ticket at the park get a free Rangers cap in Maverick blue and orange. Go to TexasRangers.com/UTA for details. Now Griffin, 4 2/3 today. Just could not get that one final out to get through 5, and Alex Claudio, the left-hander, on a relief.
I saw Alex last night, worked a very quick and easy 1-2-3 inning. Had a couple of strikeouts, his 22nd appearance of the year this afternoon. 2.93 ERA, and the league hitting just 2.91 against him.
So he'll get Descalso. Take a look at Arenado at third base. At first base, it's Parra. And they're going to pinch hit for Arenado, whose splits would beg that move, no doubt. Mark Reynolds, swinging right-handed slugger, takes ball 1. Reynolds had the start yesterday, went 0 for 3 with a walk. Claudio's 1-0. Gets a high strike call, 1-1 the count. Reynolds with good power, although the numbers, home run numbers this year, not as high as they used to be back in his days with the Arizona Diamondbacks. His strikeout numbers have dropped though as well. And the 1-1 pitch, that one on the corner for strike 2. So pinch hitter of the 5th inning for the Rockies. Claudio on a relief. And it's a 4-1 Rockies lead. A 1-2 from Claudio. Well off the plate. Well, yesterday the Rangers trailed the entirety of the game. That is until the 9th inning. Trailed at points 2-0, 2-1, and then in the 9th, busted loose for 3 runs to come from behind and win it. And today they're going to have to do something similar. Claudio wants to keep it a 4-1 ball game, but that bouncer will make it 5-1. Arenado across the plate on the Reynolds base hit.
Reynolds able to take advantage of Alex Claudio's stock and trade, that changeup, and Reynolds didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot, right back up the middle. Bell was not able to get there, and a very big run for the Rockies.
Right after the Rangers had scored a run at the top of the inning, felt like, chip away, get back in it. Rockies answered, and all of the action this inning coming with 2 outs. 2-out walk to Arenado. Parra with the single. He's now at third after Reynolds' base hit. Claudio pumps one in there for a strike to Adames. Adames hitless in 2 tries today. Rockies have scored the most runs in the National League. It's a very good offense. Tapper foul makes it 0-2. Lately, we talked earlier about the run they've been on. They've won 15 of their last 23. And that has largely been on the strength of their pitching. Walt Weiss has got a rotation with a lot of young arms, and they have been competitive. Of course, that has always been the story here. They feel like if they can pitch, if they can get a couple of guys who don't mind pitching here and can do so with some success, and they can win a whole lot of ball games. They still have a little uphill climb to go this year. 4 back in the wild card race. The 0-2 pitch, and Adames taps one weakly second base. Odor has to come in to grab it and quickly sling it over to first to get Adames and end the inning. 1 run scores on a couple of hits. We'll go to the 6th inning. Rockies now leading 5-1. Inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is $300 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Guy Center of Dallas will win $300. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, a Guy will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Good luck, Guy. Here we go. 6th inning. Rangers trail by 4, top of the order due. Desmond 0 for 2 so far this afternoon against Chatwood. Chatwood, in fact, has only allowed 3 hits today. The right-hander is worked quickly and effectively, and it's 1-1 on Desmond.
Yeah, to your point, Dave, about the pitching for the Rockies. Mark Reynolds into first base, by the way. But boy, with Tyler Anderson last night, Tyler Chatwood today, the Rockies starting pitching has picked up quite a bit, and you got 2 guys you can build around pretty well with those 2. Anderson held the Rangers down last night, used a run in 7 innings, and Chatwood has done almost the same here this afternoon.
Anderson was pretty impressive, not dazzling stuff, but boy, he pitched. 1-1. It's a ball on 2 strikes on Desmond. Desmond, Odor, and Beltran here in the 6th inning. Ian batting in the leadoff spot today. A little below the zone, 2-2. As he tries to get himself back on track again. It's about the time of game where Desmond typically really shines. He has been big in the late innings, although he strikes out here to start the 6th.
Well, the 8th strikeout for Chatwood this afternoon, and a well-located fastball down and in. Worked Ian over pretty well. That's the 2nd time he's gotten Desmond on strikes today.
Chatwood, the numbers would suggest he's not a huge strikeout guy. We talked earlier about his being a ground ball pitcher, but boy, today he has racked them up, and he pumps one in there for a strike to Odor.
Oh, and you're able to move the ball around the strike zone the way he is and have a couple of different fastballs to work with. Makes the breaking ball much more effective. And he's been on his game today. I haven't seen anything that would resemble a guy that gives up a lot of home runs, a lot of base hits. You know, he just doesn't give up a lot of hard contact, at least with his stuff today.
He's got Odor to ground out and then pop up. 1-2 the count. So how much of a factor is this ballpark for the Rockies? Just mentally, you figure there's a wear and tear on the bullpen over time as Odor hits this high in the air center field. Blackman going back. Carries well, but not well enough, and there are 2 away. I mean, it's been suggested over the years that some guys might try to change to some degree the way they pitch in this ballpark. Afraid to challenge hitters, that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, as we talked last night, good pitchers are going to be able to adapt to any ballpark. It's not a concern typically of a guy that knows what he's doing, and you know, he adapts his game in certain situations to the environment. For the most part, though, good pitchers do what they do well, and they do it all the time. A guy that's really not sure of how he should go about things or trying to find his way along in Major League Baseball is going to have problems in a park like this because he gets in his head.
Well, a little tapper by Beltran makes it easy on Chatwood in the 6th, and he has cruised this afternoon, working with a 5-1 lead. This Sunday will be treated to an Adrian Beltre removable helmet bobblehead, courtesy of Nitto Tire. If you're one of the first 15,000 fans to the Tigers-Rangers game, you'll get to collect this one-of-a-kind bobblehead. Find your tickets at TexasRangers.com, and remember, remove Beltre's helmet at your own risk. He doesn't like it. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-1. Rockies leading, and more work for Alex Claudio. He gets Walters to bunt one foul for strike one. Walters is 0 for 2 today. Claudio came on to get the final out of the 5th. Walters, a converted middle infielder. He hadn't been catching, but now 3 years. He first climbed behind home plate in 2013 in the minor leagues. Plays off a pretty good pitch right there. 1-1 the count. There's a really good pitch. Here's the 1-1 from Claudio. Gets a call this time for strike 2. So A.J. Griffin today, 4 2/3 innings. And was responsible for all 5 runs. Claudio from that hunched over set position. This one bounced up the middle, a base hit for Walters. More aggressively out of the box. Now the throw back to first, and he's able to scramble back. Desmond, perhaps Walters didn't have the scouting report, but Desmond loves to try and get anybody at any time if he can. He saw an opportunity there on Walters. Lead man on for the Rockies. Chatwood will bat for the 3rd time today. He is flied out and struck out. Beltre creeping down the 3rd baseline, and that one just misses, ball 1. Chatwood will try to move Walters up to 2nd. Just a couple of sacrifices this year for the Rockies right-hander. He's going to give it a whirl. First to toss over to first, and Walters does get back in there, but that was pretty close.
Walters was thinking about getting a good jump when the ball was put on the ground for a bunt by Chatwood, and he forgot about the pickoff play by Claudio. Alex got a pretty good move.
Claudio looks at him again. This one bunted foul. 1-1 the count. Four-run Rockies lead, but we are in the 6th.
You got to be careful here. A guy like Chatwood that handles the bat pretty well, he might pull the bat back and try to slug one by one of the charging infielders.
6 hits this year for Chatwood, a 158 average this season, all singles. Career numbers a little bit better than that, actually. And he's going to continue to try to bunt, but in a hole now, 1 and 2. Most managers will take the play off at this point, but you do see it on occasion. Oh, what the heck? I think in his case, he's proven himself over the years to be a decent enough hitter. I just want to go ahead and let him swing. Get off man on. Well, he is showing bunt. And he gets it down. Boy, deadens that one nicely, but Chirinos out to 2nd for the 1 out. So not a successful one. Walters forced out at 2nd base. And now, the worst case scenario there for Weiss is his pitcher's out of the bases.
Now this could very easily turn into a double play. Chatwood not hustling down the line very much, and I can't say I blame him. After working 6 innings up here, he can take a little bit of time off. Now, as you mentioned, Dave, he's going to have to run around the base paths for a while.
Only one out in the inning, and now top of the order. Here's Charlie Blackmon.
They're going to talk about that slide at second base.
There was a little bit of a tangled mess there.
Well, one thing they did in revamping the interpretation of this rule is they took off the idea that you have to be in the act of throwing to first base. Now it doesn't. You don't have to try and make a play at first. If the runner interferes with the middle infielder at all, they can rule that it's an out at first also.
Of course, one of the stipulations, you've got to maintain contact with the base. You can see here he's holding on for dear life to adhere to that rule, and it looks like he did keep a foot on there. And he asked them to see if maybe it would be worth their time to take a look at it, but getting word from the dugout that not worth any further examination, so they'll just go ahead and keep playing. Blackmon retired his last time up in the fourth inning. He popped up at foul ground along the third baseline. He's also homered and doubled today. Just about everybody's set now.
They're trying to decide whether they want to have Mitch Moreland holding Chatwood at first base or not.
So help us understand a little bit too. We talk about this all the time when pitchers get on base. There's no real threat to be going anywhere. Well, sometimes a guy, you won't even get a chance to run. The pitcher will just be standing out there at first for what amounts to an extra 5-7 minutes maybe, as this one fouled away. There is a little collateral damage, I guess, to the pitcher spending that time out there, but why? What is it if they're not doing a whole lot of running?
Well, because fatigue starts with your legs. Your legs get tired long before your arm ever gets tired as a pitcher. So the more you're on your legs, not the act of pitching, the more you're on them as a base runner or anything else, the more fatigue is going to set in.
Moreland coming in, grabs that one and gets the force out at second. Chatwood can go relax for a moment. No double plays. That one just hit too slowly down to first.
Now, in this case, that's pretty well mitigated by that ground out. He's able to go in and sit down and catch his breath and get off his legs for a minute. But that's the important thing. It's not, pitchers, people think, well, pitchers, he's thrown too many pitches, he gets tired that way. No, that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with your legs and the core of your body that you use so much in throwing every pitch.
Blackmon now at first for DJ LeMahieu. You see guys after games, they get all the big ice packs strapped onto the shoulders, the elbows, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And you hear guys talk about, their legs then, maybe toward the end of their boy, I got a little rubber leg out there. Right. Now, did you, most starts, like if you're going a reasonable distance, 6, 7, 8 innings, did you have that feeling in your legs pretty much every time?
6 was not a reasonable length of game for me.
8 innings or 12 as the case may be on
eventually, yeah, you get tired, but if you get tired before you get your allotted number of innings in, 9 for example, you got to go out and run some more. Pretty simple. You get tired, you're not in good enough shape to pitch.
Yeah, but I mean, you would expend yourself to that point pretty much any start, right? That you would end up like, ooh, I mean, I'm gassed.
Well, eventually, yeah.
LeMahieu 0 for 3 today. Takes a low strike. 1-1 now from Claudio. Well, they play LeMahieu straight away, all over the field. That might be as traditional a setup as I've seen all year. Checking again with Blackmon. Claudio on for A.J. Griffin this afternoon, who went 4 2/3 innings. 2-1 to LeMahieu. Bullpen yesterday for the Rangers. Keone Kela and Jake Diekman came on in the last 2 innings. And then on Sunday, Rangers had to go 11 in Houston. Jeffress, Dyson, and Matt Bush went 2 on Sunday, the 2-1 pitch. That's ball 3. The bullpen lately has been in much better shape that way. The usage has been spread around. Guys getting just enough work and not too much. Which is a far cry from where we were in late June, early July. Claudio hits this one, bounced up the middle, base hit for LeMahieu. Blackman stops at second, 2 men aboard in the 6th inning.
LeMahieu getting his first base hit of the day, and he took that right back where it came from. It's a good job of hitting. You talked, Dave, about LeMahieu and what he's been able to do with these Rockies this year. He's been a machine, and that kind of swing right there, I'll tell you, he's on pretty much everybody that walks out to the mound.
Now David Dahl, and he's had another good day. Dahl came in the game late yesterday to get a hit. Tripled his first time up today. And he takes ball 1. Taking a look at our Ford leaderboard, and in the National League, Rockies very adept when they get runners in scoring position. Only the Cardinals with a higher team average. And you can see today 4 for 7. 1-1 on Dahl. It's part of the reason why they are the highest scoring offense in the National League. A warm Tuesday afternoon, 91 degrees at game time today. Very little breeze at all. And there's strike 2 on Dahl. Both teams traveling after the ballgame today, both headed to the same destinations. Chirinos wants to have a word with Alex Claudio. This place has been packed with the Rangers fans today. The crowd somewhat subdued this afternoon compared to what we had yesterday. And it's because the Rangers haven't had a whole lot going offensively. Late innings, if you see this Rangers offense get going, you'll hear this crowd get into it. Claudio needing 1 more strike. Blackman at second, LeMahieu at first. Pitch to Dahl. And they'll square it at 2-2. Dahl just 21 years old. A very talented rookie. Take a look at Blackman and LeMahieu. Full count now on Dahl. Dahl 6'2", 195. He's from Alabama. Drafted out of Oak Mountain High School. He was the 10th pick overall in 2012. Very highly thought of and very quick ascension to the big leagues for this young man. 3-2. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Claudio punches out Dahl to end the 6th inning. So no runs for the Rockies. They leave 2. And we'll head to the 7th this afternoon. Rangers need to get that offense churning, trailing by 4. this afternoon. This was in the first inning. In fact, the first batter, Riley Blackmon, with his 14th home run of the year, made it 1-0 Rockies. Later in the inning with Dahl at third, Nolan Arenado rolled one through, made it 2-0 Colorado. Arenado wouldn't be done. In the third inning, did it again. 2 RBIs for Arenado. Parra would grab it another one later in that inning, and they'd added an additional run in the 5th, leading 5-1. But the Rangers with some outs with which to work now. Adrian Beltre leading off the 7th inning. Had 2-0 in the count. And bounces one right back to Chatwood. Overhand lob gets Beltre one away. Well, back-to-back very impressive starting performances by these Rockies starters. Yesterday, Tyler Anderson went 7 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits, struck out 5. And today, well, Chatwood every bit as good, maybe better. The one thing yesterday was Anderson did walk a handful of Rangers. Whereas today, Chatwood has avoided that issue altogether. Mitch Moreland 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th. Rangers have won 3 straight to get their record to 66-47, best record in the American League. Texas with a 7-game lead over Seattle coming into play today. The Astros 8.5 back. Seattle's won 4 in a row. 2-1 the count to Mitch Moreland. Rangers have also played the most road games in all of Major League Baseball, a couple more than the Philadelphia Phillies, but that will end up working to their benefit from this point forward. 30 of their final 48 are at home. That's a heck of a stretch. And Jeff Bannister will be very happy to get his team back there. 3-1 and a borderline strike call to Moreland. It's a full count. And Mitch thought he had ball 4. Chatwood bumping up close to 100 pitches. Moreland smacks that one back up the middle. A base hit for Mitch. Rangers have a base runner in the 7th. Well, Star Wars weekend returns to the ballpark. First 15,000 fans to the game on Saturday, August 27th. We'll receive an Elvis Landis Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead, courtesy of Takis. You'll have to smuggle your way across the galaxy in order to pick up one of the coolest bobbleheads of the year. Purchase your tickets today at TexasRangers.com. Come see the Indians and Rangers. As Andrews steps in and takes strike 1. Moreland at first, 1 out. Elvis doubled in the 5th inning and scored the Rangers' only run today. Leadoff double off of Chatwood. Chatwood's only allowed 4 hits. Tried to check his swing, and on appeal, indeed he did. Greg Gibson says he held back. Andrews swinging one of the hot bats for the Rangers. This one off the handle. Slow roller short. Adames to first. That's dug out nicely over there by Mark Reynolds to get the out. Moreland goes to second base, but there are 2 away.
That's a nice reaction by Adames and a nice pick by Reynolds at first to get the out. Boy, Elvis really got jammed. That ball hit him maybe about an inch above his right hand. See how many pieces of bat come off that. Well, needless to say, Elvis will not be using that weapon any further, at least not in ball games. They used it to start a fire this winter.
2 gone now. Moreland out of scoring position, and Nomar Mazara is 1 for 2 today. Nomar seems to have gotten himself righted again. He's off that pitch. 2-0 the count. Mazara came as a pinch hitter yesterday and struck out. It ended a 7-game hitting streak. Pretty nice little grab there by Walters. The hitting streak may be done for Nomar, but hitting a skosh over 300 over the last now 17 games. 2-1 to count. Hard to believe this is the 96th game he has started.
Yep, go back to the 10th of April when he was called up, made his debut out in Anaheim.
Turned a few heads. Moreland off second base at 2-1, fouled off. Mazara got everybody's attention with the power. 13 home runs, some of them just massive home runs. Hits for a high average. Boy, 6 outfield assists. He's made just 1 error. He's done a spectacular job defensively as well. Chatwood's 2-2. And this one over second base, drops in, base hit. That little hand grenade will get Moreland to the plate. It's a 5-2 game. So Mazara's second hit of the afternoon plates a run and cuts into that Rockies lead.
Well, Nomar, as he has shown us that he's willing to do, staying back on the ball, and he doesn't mind if he gets jammed in a situation like this. He's going to try and take the ball right back through the middle of the field. He does, and to great effect. That's one of those balls that in most parks are going to fall in. In this ballpark, no doubt about it. Nobody can get to that thing. Outfielder's playing deep, and it looks like it's going to do it for Tyler Chatwood.
Weiss making that slow walk, 108 pitches for Chatwood. He battled this afternoon, but the Rockies manager takes the baseball. Chatwood get a nice round of applause. New pitcher coming on for the Rockies. It's a 3-run game in the 7th. Aggressive upcoming schedule for the Rangers. Headed home after the ball game this afternoon. We'll see the Rockies for a couple more this week, and then the Detroit Tigers. They have been pretty hot, lost the last couple of nights, but just 2.5 back of Cleveland. They'll be in over the weekend. Then the Oakland A's. And just a short roadie for the Rangers after that. Start seeing a whole lot more blue squares the remainder of this season. Chatwood is done. Scott Oberg has come on for the Rockies.
Now, Oberg's a 26-year-old right-hander out of Connecticut. Played his ball at the University of Connecticut. 18th game this year. He's been up and down a couple of times with the Rockies. League hitting .240 against him. Last time he was out there was in the Miami series, just before the Rangers came into town.
A good fastball. Chirinos fouls it off. When I say fouls it off Walters for strike one. Average below 200, but the 8 home runs for Chirinos, they have all come on the road. 1-1 to count. Rangers with a major league best 34 come from behind wins this year. That accounts for better than half of their total victories as Chirinos hit a hole now, 1-2. Robinson is flat out to right and driven in a run with a sac fly. Well, if he could keep this inning going, it would likely get Chu to the plate, but it's not going to happen as Chirinos down looking for the final out of the inning. So Oberg comes in and gets the strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th this afternoon, 5-2 Colorado. Alex Claudio able to stay in the contest, and he'll face Arenado, Parra, and Mark Reynolds in this 7th inning. A lot of Rangers fans here today, 27,671, the paid attendance. And we have seen a lot of faithful around town and in the ballpark. We're waiting to make some more noise here in these remaining few innings. Claudio in an inning and a third so far in relief. Has allowed 3 hits but no runs. And Arenado smashes this one to center field. Desmond, though, with room. And he makes the catch. 1 away in the 7th inning, and we'll send it back to Rick Renner for another Chevy game break. All right, thanks, Rick. 1 out here, 7th inning, and Gerardo Parra 2 for 3. Carr, not a big guy, and does not bring great power. And takes strike one. List him at 5'11", 210. Might be generous. Little roller, first base side. Handled by Moreland. Side steps to the bag. 2 away.
Yeah, fairly compact is the way to put it.
Yeah. Now Mark Reynolds. Reynolds came in as a pinch hitter of the 5th inning, singled in a run. He was the first batter that Claudio faced. Mark's been working that outside corner, doesn't get the call here. Ball 1 on Reynolds. Reynolds, he went 3 consecutive years with at least 200 strikeouts back when he was playing in Arizona. Bounces one on 2 high hops to short. Andrus is there, and it completes a quick 1, 2, 3 innings. Just 5 pitches needed for Alex Claudio in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Rangers trailing by 3.
Back to Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. This is a game of natural rivals, at least that's what MLB tells us. The Rockies and the Rangers' natural rivalry continues tomorrow. And Martin Perez will take the mound. He has been so good at home this year, 6-1 with a 2.54 ERA. Charlie Blackmon has been awfully good here and there and everywhere for the last 11 games. And AT&T high-speed internet reminds us that the series continues 6:30 tomorrow for Rangers Live. We'll have the first pitch sometime around 7:05, guys.
All right, thanks, John. 8th inning. And 2 pinch hitting here in the 8th for Claudio. Will lead things off. Takes a strike from Scott Oberg. Oberg came on to get the final out of the 7th. It's 1-1. Well, Chu, since returning, has hit in all 5 games in which he has played. Came off the disabled list on August 4th. 7 for 20 in those 5 games. A couple of doubles on this road trip. Hitting at a 350 clip. Take strike 2. 1-2 the count.
And no doubt when the Rangers take the field tomorrow night, you see Chu back in that leadoff spot. I would imagine playing right field at home. Get Carlos Beltran back at the DH for Jeff Bannister's club.
Swings and misses at strike 3, so a punch out begins the 8th inning. We'll go back up top for Ian Desmond.
Scott Oberg getting that ball down out of the strike zone. He got you in a pitcher's count. Got him to chase that one.
Desmond today hitless in 3 tries. Rangers scored a run in the 5th, a run in the 7th this afternoon on 5 hits. Rockies with 5 runs on 10 hits so far today. Two and 0 on Desmond. Second year of the big leagues for Oberg. Last year, 3 wins, 4 losses, and 64 relief appearances. He pumps that one in for strike 1. One of Oberg's real strengths last year, and one of the reasons he was brought in the 7th inning, is because he was so good at stranding inherited runners. Last year stranded 31 of 39 inherited runners. When he came into the 7th inning, Rangers had a man on. And that was the idea, get out of the inning without any more damage. He got Chirinos to strike out to win the inning, and it's 2-2. It's a full count.
Well, good live arm, and I'm sure they're looking at Scott Oberg down the road as somebody to pitch late in ball games, whether it be the closer or not is seemingly irrelevant anymore. 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy.
Desmond shoots this one through the right side, base hit. So 1-out single in the 8th. And it gets Rougned Odor to the plate. You can follow Rangers baseball live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. So here's Odor 0 for 3. And those Rangers fans we were talking about earlier starting to get a little vocal. Base hit up the middle. Desmond around second. He'll head to third. And the Rangers have 2 men aboard in the 8th. So back-to-back 1-out singles off Oberg. It gets the potential tying run to the plate.
Odor not wasting any time at all, and Oberg kind of a get-ahead fastball that never got past Rougned. He won't let many of those go by. He's up there looking for that first hittable fastball, and he got one there.
You know, Weiss, he's seen this maybe a little too often recently. Steve Foster out there have a word with Oberg, and they'll quickly get some bodies going in their bullpen. Their bullpen has not been real good. They've had a handful of guys who have done the job. They've got a team ERA or bullpen ERA approaching 5. So here's Beltran with Desmond at third and Odor at first. Carlos 0 for 3 so far this afternoon.
Well, and for what we've seen of Carlos in a Ranger uniform, to overshift him the way the Rockies do on the infield, putting 3 defenders on the right side of the diamond, you better have a plan to pitch him with off-speed stuff and fastballs inside, because he'll lace anything out away from him right to the shortstop hole. You don't have anybody stationed there.
One-0 from Oberg. Pulled foul, 1-1. Yesterday's comeback for the Rangers began in the 7th inning on the Beltre home run. And then they scored 3 in the 9th. Today trailing by 3 in the 8th inning, but a couple of men out there, only 1 away. One got away from Oberg, 2-1 the count.
Hard as Oberg throws, that's a good way to pull your shoulder right out of your socket.
Beltran, 39 years old. Came up in 1998 with the Kansas City Royals. And when you go back to yesterday's ninth inning comeback, you look at the guys who came up with the big hits, guys like Elvis Andrus, Mitch Moreland, key players like that man on deck, Adrian Beltre. 3-1. Boy, borderline call, and it's a full count on Beltran. You're talking about guys with a lot of postseason big game experience. And the Rangers rely on those late inning spots. 3-2. Beltran stays alive. Odor was moving on the pitch. That's one of the great advantages, though, that Jeff Bannister has. Great veteran presence and guys who, not just veterans, but have played in winning situations. Guys like Andrus, Moreland, Beltre, you're talking about guys with at least 30 postseason games or 100 postseason at-bats. Oberg readies again. And time taken by his catcher, Walters, just before he was to throw the pitch. Now everybody ready again. There goes Odor, and this one ripped through into right field, base hit. Here comes Desmond, he's in, Odor to third, and now the tying runs are on. It's a 5-3 ball game.
Yeah, don't go anywhere yet, folks. Rangers have another comeback in them. A good job of hitting by Beltran. Went up and got that pitch. It was up and away, and he was probably looking at the defense too. And they'd moved Arenado over to play in the shortstop hole once they got to 2 strikes. He just banged that through the right side for the RBI single.
Oh, big hit by Beltran. He'll give way to DeShields as a pinch runner. Now you got very good speed representing the tying run over there at first. Adrian Beltre. Look out. There's nobody who's had more success in this ballpark than Adrian Beltre. A .399 career average coming in 64 games. Odor into Shields. And the 1-0. That's hammered. Deep center. It is off the fence. 2 runs are in. This game is tied. Beltre has done it again. We told you those Rangers fans are here. Making noise again in the late innings. Adrian Beltre with a 2-run double has knotted this thing at 5.
Oberg trying to throw the ball away, never got it out there. And Beltre, who loves that high fastball, jumped all over it. Quite honestly, Oberg's lucky to get that ball back. That was in a spot that Beltre, with a little more altitude, hits it about halfway up the bleachers in center field. Now that's going to be the end of the afternoon for Scott Oberg.
Did not go well. Struck out the first 2 he faced, but 3 consecutive singles, then the double. And Jake McGee will be coming on for the Rockies. This game tied at 5. We're back in a moment. double moments ago has tied this game at 5. Rangers have plated 3 runs in the 8th inning. Think he was pumped?
Yeah. That's about as effervescent as Adrian gets. He's not one to hyperbole. Well, Jake McGee has come on into the ballgame. McGee, one of the workhorses out there for Walt Weiss Club, 41st appearance of the year. That rather unsightly 5.23 ERA for McGee and a 2.89 opponent's batting average. McGee, Ranger fans will remember, saw a lot of him when he was down in Tampa Bay. He's no stranger to the Rangers. First hitter is Mitch Moreland, and Mitch is 2 out of 7 against him.
Heat right in there for a strike to Moreland, who's 1 for 3 this afternoon. So McGee, the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Rockies. Beltre out there, the responsibility though of Oberg. Long look, and this one lifted into left. Daldo right there. 2 gone. And Beltre came up with the real big hit this inning, but man coming to the plate, Elvis Andrus. He had the 2-run single last night in the 9th inning to tie it. And he is the guy who, lately we talk about swinging the hot bat, but he has done it in the big spots. 4th in the American League with a .370 average with runners in scoring position.
If I were in Walt Weiss's position right now, Elvis would not swing the bat. He'd be on first base. I don't care if he is the one more run.
Well, he's swinging here, and a bloop into center, drops in, base hit. Beltre on the way. Blackman's throw offline, and the Rangers on top. Elvis Andrus delivers again. And the Rangers never, ever quit. 6-5 in the 8th.
Well, Elvis certainly will take that. The Rangers will take it. McGee trying to get ahead with that fastball, and Elvis took it right back to the middle of the diamond. Didn't hit it all that hard, maybe down toward the trademark a little bit, but boy, as hot as the Rangers are late in ball games, no doubt that was going to fall in. And I'll go back to the at-bat. Elvis can't swing the bat there against me. I've got to put him on and deal left-hander against left-hander with Jake McGee.
Yeah, pretty unusual, and it did not take Andrus much deliberating to jump on that one. The first pitch delivered for a single, or rather a double. Now Jonathan Lucroy pinch hitting here for Mazara. Takes strike 1. I corrected myself one last time. The single and second on the throw. Get it right eventually. 6-5. Rangers lead. Lucroy with a big swing. And then a whole 0-2. 2 out here in the 8th inning. Lucroy got the day off today. He started 6 of 7 games at catcher since being acquired from the Brewers. And he has been very productive. 3 home runs. He's driven in 5. So look at Jeffress getting ready out in the Rangers pen. Now once again, the Rockies had an outstanding performance from their starter, Tyler Chatwood, as they did yesterday from Tyler Anderson, but it's squandered by their bullpen. The 0-2. And that's low. Lucroy pinch hitting. You saw Jeffress a moment ago, the 2 who came over from Milwaukee at the trade deadline. And one of 2 huge trades the Rangers made in the final hour 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled back out of play. McCoy was hitting .299 in the National League with 13 home runs. He is a very good offensive catcher, but he is one of the best, if not the best, defensive catchers. Andrus out there in scoring position. He's already delivered the go-ahead run with his single moments ago. 5 hits in the inning for the Rangers. The 1-2, and Lucroy down swinging ends the inning, but the Rangers, with 4 runs in the 8th inning, have taken the lead in Colorado. Everybody in the act, and another massive Rangers comeback. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the Ford Freedom Sales event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. A 4-run top of the 8th inning, and the Rangers lead for the first time this afternoon. 6-5 our score as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A couple of changes, including Jeremy Jeffress on a relief.
Jeffress out his 51st appearance of the year. Coming over from Milwaukee. He was their closer and 27 saves. Last time we saw Jeremy, he had a kind of a rough outing on Sunday in Houston. Gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in an inning, but back on the horse here this afternoon.
Has a bottom third of the order to deal with. DeShields stays in the game in left field. Chu in right. Adames waves weakly at that one. 0-2 the count. And he's had some rough at bats today. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of groundouts. Jeffress, the 3rd pitcher today for the Rangers. A.J. Griffin, 4 2/3. Alex Claudio, 2 1/3 scoreless. Good heat, but just off the plate. 1-2 on Adames.
Now, Jeffress the other day at Houston had trouble getting his sinker near enough the strike zone, get swings on it without it being in the middle of the strike zone. He just had a little problem with command.
It's Adames to fight that one off.
And he throws that slider like that when he's pitching well, and the slider has some teeth on it. Boy, he'll take a chunk right out of a hitter's bat.
Ahead of Adames, a ball and 2 strikes. Jeffress, a little low. 2-2 the count. Jeffress listed at 6 feet tall, 208 pounds. He's now 28 years old. He's having a good year in Milwaukee after a great one the year before. 5-0 record, 2.65 ERA last year for the Brewers. It's this one. Bounce on the ground to third. Beltre right there at the top of it. And Adames retired to start the bottom of the 8th. This year was the first time really that Jeffress had been given the opportunity to close games. And he did not shy away from it. Excellent numbers in Milwaukee. And now just a great compliment to an already very good stacked power arm bullpen for the Rangers. Here's Walters. Walters today has a hit in 3 tries. Start looking at options for Walt Weiss. This game continues to inch along to the finish line, and he doesn't have many left on the bench. Ryan Rayburn has come out into the on-deck circle. And then Weiss really gets himself pretty hamstrung at that point. Gonzalez had to lead the game early yesterday, re-aggravating his sprained ankle. Nick Hundley would be the other available bench player, as Walters fights that off, but it's 2-1.
Hey, you still got Gonzalez down there, and I guess in a pinch, probably can't play defensively.
They might be able to hit. One out. Jeffress working on Walters. That's outside, ball 3. Now, one thing you can't do is put somebody on for free in this spot. Rangers have just come back for 4 runs, top of the 8th inning, to take the lead. Trying to steal a second consecutive game from the Rockies at Coors Field. Full count now. Ball goes one way, bat goes the other. Nice play by a fan. There you go. One hand. That's a heck of a souvenir. Meanwhile, the count has run full on Walters. Outfield straightaway and deep. And 3-2 from Jeffress. Fouled off again. Chirinos and Jeffress have come to an agreement to pay off pitch. And a comebacker up the middle. Andrews shaded that way, able to come up with it, and retires Walters 2 away.
Well, that's one where it didn't have enough steam on it to get it through the infield. Still, Elvis getting it at the back of the dirt surface on the infield. Had a long throw to make, but made it nicely.
Looking at the card for Walt Weiss, Rayburn has been announced as the pinch hitter. As we mentioned, Hard to know what they can get out of Gonzalez today. And then Hundley, their backup catcher. So they're going to burn Rayburn right here. Double barrel action out in right field as they get ready for the 9th inning. Rayburn up there hacking. .233 average, but he can run into one every now and then. The 8 home runs, evidence of that. As a pinch hitter, 9 for 32. So he's been pretty productive in that role. Jeffress just missed. 1-1.
Before that pitch, you got to reach around and tap Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire, on the shin guard, and say, slider's coming. I think he struck him out on that pitch, too.
Now the 1-1. Good heat for strike 2. Jeffress a strike away from getting through the 8th inning, and the Rangers leading by a run. Nobody on base for the Rockies. They did all their scoring early in this game. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the 5th. That one yanked outside, 2-2. Very good, strong arm for Jeremy Jeffress. Good strikeout numbers, especially last year. More strikeouts, rather almost 9 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched, and just missed with another fastball there. Full count. There's a dangerous leadoff man, Charlie Blackmon, waiting on deck. Big full count pitch on the way. Got him looking. A strikeout of Rayburn, and Jeffress works a 1-2-3 8th inning. Rangers take the 6-5 lead to the 9th. We go to the 9th inning, a 1-run game. Rangers with the 6 runs on 10 hits, 5 of those hits coming in the 8th. New pitcher on for this 9th inning, Jordan Lyles for the Rockies.
Yeah, Lyles transferring to the bullpen, and he's had some success down there. Numbers starting to come down a bit. This is 20th game out of the bullpen this year for the Rockies.
Robinson Chirinos 0 for 2 with a sac fly today. Takes strike 1. Lyles going in a little bit that time. 1-0 the count. Jordan Lyles, a guy who emerged on the big league scene at age 21. Back in 2011. Came up as a starter with the Houston Astros for a handful of years. Now 1-2 the count to Chirinos. How about that strike call? That one, wow, very hot.
You know, Robinson suggesting to Mike Estabrook that not only might that have been a little bit high, it's okay, as long as we get that ourselves, I'll buy it this time.
2-2 now on Chirinos. Lyles already 4 years of big league time. He's had to deal with some injuries along the way. Broke his left hand in 2014. A toe injury last year. Now stays 2-2 on Chirinos. And no surprise there. Sam Dyson getting ready for the 9th. Rockies will have the top of the order coming up at the bottom of the inning. This one off the end of the bat. Stays 2-2 on Chirinos. Rangers got their 4 runs on 5 hits in the 8th inning. That was after Scott Oberg had come on. Got a strikeout of Chirinos to end the 7th. And then struck out Chu to start the 8th, but then it just got away from it. Singles to Desmond, Odor, Beltran. A double to Beltran. There's a bouncer shortstop. Routine play for the Adames. 1 out in the 9th inning. So Rangers have scored 10 runs in these 2 games here in Colorado. 9 of them have come from the 7th inning on.
Yeah. If they're really serious about the pace of play, got to just eliminate 1 through 5 in the innings for the Rangers. Start in the 6th inning and it'd make the game a lot quicker. They still score the same number of runs.
That one's worth writing down. 1-0 to Chu.
I think we can send that into the commissioners.
Listen, I think they're listening right now to any ideas. 2-0 to Chu. Chu struck out in the 8th. Came on as a pinch hitter. He's taking the game at right field. Lyles unwinds, and it's 3-0. Now look, the Rangers would love to get a base run or 2, maybe tack on a big insurance run in this 9th inning, and a walk would be a great way to get that started. 3-0 from Lyles, and there it is. Chu heads down to first. And that's got to be tough to watch for Walt Weiss. Now the top of the order for the Rangers. And this is where things got pretty crazy last inning. Desmond started it with that base hit. Started, but didn't go after strike 1. Of course, Desmond in his time in the National League would have seen Jordan Lyles. Just 1 for 4 against him. This one bounced to short, but not very swiftly. Adames has just one play, and that is to force out Chu at second. So Desmond on via the fielder's choice. 2 out now for Odor.
Adames, to get the proper hop, he had to back up on it. And as soon as he did that, no way you're going to turn the double play with Desmond streaking down the line.
So inning continues for Odor. He is singled and scored a run this afternoon. Rangers with a 1-run lead in the 9th. Looking for their Major League best 35th come from behind win. Lyles going to check in with Desmond first. Eight times this year, the Rangers have trailed going into the 8th inning and managed to go on and win the game. They're trying to do it for the 9th time this afternoon.
Swing's got a rough odor to it.
Desmond, a modest lead at first, the 1-strike pitch, and Odor hammers it out to right field, hanging up, and it goes off the base of the wall. Around third is Desmond, he'll score. Odor to second base with the RBI double, and that's a huge insurance run for the Rangers. They lead 7-5 in the 9th.
Well, Rook got his second hit of the afternoon, and well, he jumped all over this. Deepest part of the ballpark out there in right center field. He was just short of that. His second hit of the day, and driving home his 57th run of the year.
So a multi-hit game for Odor and a big 9th inning run. Now DeShields, who came on to pinch run in the 8th inning, his first at bat today. And he takes strike 1 from Jordan Lyles. DeShields scored in that 8th. Came in from first base on the double by Beltre. And with his speed, that was a foregone conclusion when it left the bat of Adrian Beltre that DeShields was going to get home. Well, he strikes out on 3 pitches in the 9th, but the Rangers add another run. And now, as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning for Dyson, they lead by 2. ninth with his double off the wall in right field. 2-run lead for Sam Dyson.
Sam Dyson, his 55th appearance of the year. Dyson, 24 out of 27. He got his third blown save on Sunday down in Houston. Gave up a run in that 9th inning, but back out here this afternoon trying to close this one out. 241 the opponent's batting average against Sam Dyson. Well, Sam will face the top of the order and some guys that are a little bit familiar with him. Blackman has had good success. He's gone 2 for 2 against Dyson. DJ LeMahieu has had a couple of at-bats against Dyson.
New left fielder Ryan Rua takes over for DeShields in left. Top of the order for the Rockies. Charlie Blackman 2 for 4. So far today, his damage done early against A.J. Griffin, who went 4 2/3 today. Dyson's 1-0. And it's squared 1-1.
Here we go, Charlie.
Alex Claudio went 2 1/3 scoreless in relief. Jeffress, a 1-2-3 8th inning. And now it's up to Dyson, the 1-1. A big key will be taking care of Charlie Blackman. You keep him off the bases, that'll go a long way toward success in this 9th inning. Tough left-handed hitter. Right-hander Dyson delivers 1 and 2. Got him looking right down the middle. Strike 3 called.
Dyson able to throw that comeback fastball, not the sinker, the Taylor, and it started off inside, then came back to the corner, and Blackman completely frozen by that thing. Looking at that like, you got to be kidding me. And nope, go back and look at the Fox tracker, it was a strike.
Now LeMahieu, 1 for 4. Dyson goes right after him with the fastball. So yesterday, 3 runs in the 9th. Today, 4 runs in the 8th. Rangers surging from behind, and it's 1-1 on LeMahieu, and trying to make it 4 straight wins on this road trip to wrap it up and head home. Rangers have a winning road record at 32-30 coming into play. This one lined on the right field line, and it is a fair ball. LeMahieu sneaks it in there. He'll cruise to second with a 1-out double. And that gets the potential tying run to the plate for the Rockies in this 9th inning.
Yeah, and that also makes that insurance run look even bigger. Pitch has stayed up and is tailed back right to the middle of the plate. LeMahieu does a good job of going the other way with it. Well, tying run is coming up in David Dahl.
Dahl tripled his first time in today. 1 for 3 with a walk. He has been the latest rookie sensation for the Rockies. And he takes a strike from Dyson. Trevor Story, the man who lit the world on fire here to start the year for the Rockies, recently injured himself, done for the year. Last 2 weeks, though, it's been all about David Dahl. 1 strike pitch. And they'll spoil that one, but the count 0-2. LeMahieu with a 1-out double. Dyson wants to leave him out there, working with a 2-run lead. And Chirino's going to come out and make sure that he and Dyson are on the same page here. Well, not only have the Rangers won a lot of games, best record of the American League this year. Boy, have they been an entertaining bunch to watch. The way they have done it has been remarkable. This one inside, 1-2 on Dahl. Hard throwing righty, delivers. 2-2 on Dahl. Dyson working for his 25th save. And he's got some dangerous hitters to work through this inning, though. Arenado would be next, a 2-2. We'll do it again. Dyson, one of the fantastic additions last year at the trade deadline for the Rangers, and what a difference he made down the stretch. As we hope Jeffress will continue to contribute this year for that Rangers pin. 2-2. Bouncer down the first baseline, foul. John Daniels and his staff, they have done a very good job at identifying pitchers like Dyson, Jeffress, others who, Diekman comes to mind, they can slot in that bullpen and really lengthen and strengthen that pin's effectiveness late in games. 2-2.
Sam put himself in a position now where he needs to throw a strike to Dahl. The last thing you want to do is walk the tying run on with Arenado next.
Outfield very deep. The 3-2 pitch on the way. That one is shot foul. I'll give this kid credit. He's battling against Dyson in a huge spot. Dalt's is 21 years old. It's just his 15th big league game. Moment doesn't appear to be getting to him, though. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Dyson delivers. And there's a swing and a hot shot up the middle, and it's flagged by Andrews. And they get Dahl 2 away. Boy, perfect positioning for Elvis Andrews.
I have no idea how he caught that. That ball was by him when he reached out and snatched it. That is some great hands by Elvis Andrews. He's talking to Adrian Beltre about it. Watch where this ball is when he catches it. It's back behind his leg. Man. Adrian told him, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. Now that's... Gee, Christmas. What a play.
So 2 gone now. Nolan Arenado. 2 for 3 with a walk, a run scored. He's driven in 2. Most dangerous hitter in the National League. So it's a matchup that if you're a fan of high leverage intensity at the end of a game, and the big guys being in there for the big moment, you got it here. 2-0 to Arenado. Leads the National League in home runs, leads the National League in RBIs.
Now you've fallen behind 2-0, and if you're Sam Dyson, the one thing you want to make sure is you keep the ball down and out of the middle of the plate. Down and in, down and away. Last thing you want to do is leave it in the middle. Allow him to get the good part of the bat to it and get it out of the ballpark. And a walk is not the worst thing that can happen right here, now that you're falling behind him.
3-0. And there's the automatic strike. I just hate to put the tying run on base. Boy, he is a guy who is a lot more dangerous standing right there at the plate, no matter the count, than he is standing on first. Outside. 3-1 from Dyson. Just missed. So 2 men out there now.
Yeah, Doug Roquet had to go out and make sure that Dyson refocuses now. And now that you've kind of gotten away from the aggressive nature of going after hitters to being a little bit standoffish with a guy like Arenado at the plate, and reasonably so. You know, you fall behind a guy like that, you can't afford to be aggressive when he's the tying run. So, okay, you walked him, you pitched carefully to him. Now you got to get back in that aggressive mode and go after Parra. Make quality pitches to him, keep the ball down, keep it out of the middle of the plate, and make sure you go after this guy with some aggressiveness.
First time these two have ever seen each other. Parra, the left-handed hitter, 2 for 4 in today's game. It's got LeMahieu at second, Arenado at first. 2 out, bottom of the 9th. And there's strike 1. Parra, not really the type of guy to work a pitcher, working at bat. There's 4 walks this year against 42 strikeouts. He's up there to hit. Dyson able to use that aggressiveness to his advantage. There's another Tapper foul in the count 0-2. And so Dyson 1 strike away. Trying to finish off another heart-stopping comeback by the Rangers this afternoon in Denver. 2 men on for the Rockies, and the 0-2 pitch. Bouncer, second base, Odor's there. And that'll do it. Rangers sweep the 2-game series with incredible come-from-behind victories today, a 7-5 win over the Rockies. Unbelievable. They've won 4 in a row on this roadie and now head home.
And Elvis still talking about that ball. Off the bat of David Dahl that almost took Elvis out into center field. A great play, and that really saved the Rangers in that 9th inning. Sam Dyson getting the final ground out, but now there's always some extra thrill. The Rangers trying to close games out. They got it done today, and that's a big one. Take on back home the 67th win of the year. Adrian Beltre, another huge day in sparking this club to a comeback win.
Back to 20 games over 500.
Yep.
That's been their high water mark this year, but back there again, 20 games over. Best record in the American League, and Jeff Bannister pretty pleased with the effort that he's been getting from his club on a day-by-day basis, and this one is going to make that flight home a real treat. Yesterday, 3 runs in the 9th to roar back and win 4-3. Today, 4 runs on 5 hits in the 8th, and then a big insurance run in the 9th inning to win 7-5 here in Colorado. Elvis Andrus, a big part of it again today, and he's standing by with John Radigan.
Yeah, Elvis Andrus here with me, and first of all, you look up there, you think you're at home, don't you?
Yeah, it feels really good, man. I think there's more fans, more Ranger fans than the Rockies, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, chanting your name now, and with good reason. Couple of nights in a row, you come through with the big hit. It's got to feel awfully good.
Oh, I feel amazing, man. I think that, that's one of the situations that that I like the most, and I try to concentrate the most. And so far this year, you know, good thing happens.
You didn't waste any time when you went up there this time. You went up swinging.
No, I face him, you know, quite a few times, and I know he's gonna be aggressive. And I just try not like yesterday, stay in the middle of the field and don't try to do too much.
Did this one feel as yesterday's did, like all the way through you guys felt like, hey, we still got a chance to win this?
Yeah, for sure, man. I think, you know, their starters did a tremendous job, kept us out of balance, and but for us just to stay in the game. Bullpen did a tremendous job, keep us in the game, and then we were able, you know, to come back.
35 come from behind wins this year, more than anybody in baseball. What does that say about this team?
We're never ever quit. You know, I think that, you know, we're not gonna give up into the last out. That's baseball, you know, 27 outs. So we're gonna play hard into the last pitch, and I mean, so far it's happening. So, you know, we don't want to stop doing it.
We appreciate it, Elvis. Good game. Thank you. Let's get it back up to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, John. Another incredible game. So Rangers win it 7-5 today to get back to 20 games over 500. Their season high 24 games over 500 earlier this year in late June. 7-5 Rangers win. Back with more in just a moment.